All right, you're going to the Philippines. If you have not made the journey there yet, or have not been there lately, stay tuned. I have a few tips based on my own trips there this year. We will talk a little about COVID, not much left about that, airport security, and getting around the airports, as well as getting a taxi. Basically what you can expect when traveling to the Philippines, so you won't have too many surprises. I hope you'll join me. Good morning, good afternoon, evening, depending on where you're at. Welcome to our channel, Destination Philippines. I say our channel as this is a collaboration of myself and my fiance April, who is a Filipina living in Manila. Today I want to talk about traveling to the Philippines. I don't claim to be an expert and I don't play one on TV. My first trip to the Philippines was 10 years ago with my former wife from Bacolod. I have been there 2 times this year and will be going back again in November to marry my beautiful bride-to-be. Please stay with me till the end for some info on taking a taxi once you arrive. So, off we go. The Philippines reopened for tourism in February with several restrictions. As long as you were vaccinated, you did not need to quarantine, but you needed a negative PCR test within 48 hours of departure from the USA or your country of departure. And the USA required a negative test 24 hours before departure from the Philippines when returning to the USA. I'm sure glad those days are over. You needed $35,000 of insurance to specifically cover COVID. You needed and still do need a One Health Pass. And for some locations, what they call an S Pass. I don't believe you need those anymore. Plus, face masks were mandatory everywhere, even outside. As for now, you still are required to show proof of vaccination. The One Health Pass takes care of this for airports and customs. You no longer need the $35,000 of COVID medical insurance, but do get the travel insurance. You never know what will happen while there, and it is cheap. I use travelinsurance.com to find a policy. I'll put a link in the description. As of September 8th, masks are no longer required outdoors. Yes, but still recommended. Man, it was so nice every time I get home and land in the USA and take that mask off. Wow, you go weeks with a mask on everywhere you go. It gets a little old. I mean, we went through that here in the US, but outdoors, that was a crazy thing. You still need to wear one on the long plane ride, at least on Cebu Airlines, and in the airport and any other indoor public places. So make sure you have your mask and you're ready to wear one. You still need the One Health Pass. It is easy to do. Do this online, onehealthpass.com.ph. I'll put a link to that in the description too. Print it so you have the QR code in hand. It's much easier than fumbling through your phone to get it, especially once you get to the Philippines, as your cell phone may not work as you intend it to. You need to register for this One Health Pass 3 days before departure from the USA or your home country. Can't do it any earlier. Upload your vaccination record and where you're going and where you will be staying. And don't forget your passport has to be valid for at least 6 months at time of entry, like most other places you would go. The requirements can change at any time, so I urge you to check often and especially before you depart from your home country. You can find current information at the U.S. Embassy website. The link is in the description for the U.S. Embassy in Manila. Now the fun stuff begins. Before you arrive in the Philippines, you will receive a customs declaration and immigration card from the flight crew. Hopefully. Some airlines may not provide these, and you will need to complete these once you get to customs and immigration at the airport. So if you have it done ahead of time, it'll save you a lot of time and confusion. Make sure you have a pen with you, because they're not going to give you that on the plane. So these forms are fairly straightforward to complete. The customs form is available online, and I've added a link in the description for it also, if you would like to have it filled out ahead of time or just be familiar with it. The arrival card for immigration is fairly self-explanatory, not much to it. I've seen different ones. They're pretty simple. Once you land, if flying Philippine Airlines, you may hear the passengers applaud. Just something they do. Please feel free to join them. I guess they're feeling, oh wow, we're safe, we landed, we're home, which is great, who doesn't feel great when you land? When you get off the plane and enter the airport, you should see many people to help you. They are usually military personnel, Army, Coast Guard, etc. They are very helpful. Please ask them for directions, especially if you have a connecting flight and a tight connection window. This will save you lots of time and confusion. Don't expect to have Wi-Fi. There is limited Wi-Fi for the local carriers if you have a SIM card and a load. You can get these at the airport if you have time to do this. You will need your passport and a One Health pass for customs and immigration, and your boarding pass if traveling beyond Manila. Along those lines, if your destination is somewhere beyond Manila, look at booking separate flights. Our home in the Philippines is about an hour north of General Santos City, home of Manny Pacquiao and Mindanao. So I book a round trip to Manila, then individual flights from there. Trust me, this will save you lots of time and money. Once you are in Manila, you can fly to most any other city for $30 to $50 depending on the time of year. And you can make your connections work much better for you. For example, my trip coming up in November cost around $882 US round trip from Seattle to Manila. Now this is expensive compared to other times of the year, but cheaper than during the Christmas holidays and summertime. From there, I will fly Cebu Airlines to General Santos. Cebu has more flights each day, and I have a better choice for connection times. Actually, it's the only one that really worked out for my connection times. My Cebu Airlines flight cost me $51 US. I paid extra for my choice of the seat and checked baggage. Please note, Cebu Airlines charges for all extras, even snacks and baggage. Prepay for these online. You cannot check your bags with Cebu Airlines until you have paid. They will ask you to go to the cashier and pay for the baggage, then come back and check your bags. So you could be waiting in line to check your bags and get your boarding pass, that kind of stuff. And once you get there, they're going to say, oh, well, you need to go to the cashier and pay for this. And you go to the cashier, get in line, you pay, then you got to come back, and there'll be security people. And it's just a little bit of a pain in the butt. So just do it online. Prepay for your bags online or anything else you want. If you want a meal or a snack. I mean, no flights are very long. My flight to General Santos is 2 hours. That's the longest flight you're going to have in the Philippines, because General Santos is at the very south end of the Philippines. So, on my return to Manila from General Santos, for my trip back to the USA, I will fly Philippine Airlines. Snacks and luggage are included. With my choice of the seat, it was 2,200 pesos, or about $38 US at today's exchange rate. One very important thing to know: security at the airports. Be prepared to go through many screenings. You can sometimes go through what they call a gadget check, just another name for screening, right after you have passed through security screening. Terminal 2 at Manila Airport, which you most likely will use for most domestic flights, has a couple of gates like this. You will go through security, and then the gadget screening is only about 150 feet away. If you are outside the terminal, you will need to go through security to get in anywhere, even to a bathroom. It is best to make sure whatever bags you have, especially carry-ons, are organized. I put all items that need to be removed from bags that you need to put in bins for screening. I put them in Ziploc bags. my passport, my printed copy of my One Health Pass with a QR code, and my boarding pass are all together and in a one Ziploc bag. Many of you that travel a lot, you know, you're all used to this stuff, but it's just, you have to go through so many screenings. It's just, you take the stuff out, you go through a screening, and then you'll walk a couple hundred feet and you got to go through another one. So if you have it all organized together, it really makes it easy. If you have a backpack, do not have it on your back unless it is very secure. Beware of pickpockets. I've never had any trouble, but my fiance April, she, no, don't have that on your back, don't have that there, you know. It's just like anything else, like your wallet, you know. I have my wallet, I have it in my back pocket, but I usually always have a pocket that buttons up, you know, it's very secure, and I'm always reaching back, make sure my wallet, so I do that at home too, because sometimes I tend to forget it, you know, did I remember my wallet, you know, I get my car to go somewhere. Anyway, taxis. When you get to Manila, if you are staying there and you need a taxi, I have seen many people online saying to avoid the white taxis, only take the yellow metered taxis. In my experience, even the guys in the metered yellow taxis can try to take advantage of you. The rate when I was there in June was, I think, 4 pesos per 300 meters or 13 pesos per kilometer. I believe it's 40 pesos for the flag drop. We got into one yellow cab at the airport. His meter was running about 2 or 3 times too fast. It read over 700 pesos, just over $12 at today's exchange rate, by the time we got to our hotel in Makati. Still a deal by Western standards, but it should have been about 300 pesos or a little bit more. For the yellow cabs, you will need to get in line at the airport, and they will give you a piece of paper with the cab info. You can report drivers that try to take advantage of you if you want. Not sure if it'll do any good. Sometimes it is just as easy to ask how much, assuming you know how far it is, you know, where you're going to. Do the math of around 13 pesos per kilometer plus the flag drop. We have gotten better deals sometimes by just asking how much. If the price they tell you seems high, offer them less. Usually they'll take it. Cab fares are very inexpensive, and it takes a little getting used to as far as the rates for cabs or any other means of transportation in the Philippines, or anything else. Just be aware that they will always try to take advantage of any foreigner wherever you go. Also note that outside the major cities, you probably won't have taxis. For example, in Coronadal and other areas in the provinces, we have trikes. Small motorcycle with a sidecar. A whole nother experience. A little nerve-wracking at first, but you get used to them. I will cover more of this in another video. Oh, and hold on to your bags. Drivers will just grab them and head to their car. You could have several approach you and just start reaching for your bags wanting to get your fare. It's crazy. I hope this information has been helpful to you. Every trip to and around the Philippines can be an experience, as it can no matter where you're traveling. Please feel free to leave a comment with your experiences traveling to and around the Philippines, and I will answer any questions you may have. If this information has been helpful, I hope that you will click on the like button, and if you have not already done so, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. God bless. Jimmy out.